Ho ho ho, Merry fucking Christmas, boys. So, change of background. Why? I'm back in the UK, parents' house, festive season, you know the deal. So, it's been a little bit harder for me to make videos and so on, but however, I have something very exciting for you guys. Over the past couple of weeks, I've been testing a new tool, right? And this tool has quite literally changed my perspective on the whole chatting and OF space completely, right? And you know me, I'm a guy who constantly goes on about chatting and how to train new chatters and so on. So for this to change my perspective says a lot, okay? Now, over the past couple of weeks, as I've been testing it, I've noticed an increase in my revenue, more upsells, and just happier customers in general, right? And it's simple, just using this one fucking tool. All right. Now imagine a software that pretty much will chat to all your fans 24/7 without getting tired, right? It will upsell them. It will double rate your revenue. It will constantly be building relationships, right? And it will constantly sound like exactly your demographic of models. So if it's like a US model, it will sound like a US model, right? And you can customize every single fucking feature of it. And it's at the fraction of a cost of a full chatting team, right? It only costs like fucking $200-300 a month, which is fucking pennies compared to how much you're forking out every fucking month on chatters, right? Now, if you're an agency that has a high churn rate of chatters, you're constantly looking at different chatting agencies, or you're constantly firing your sales team, this is the tool for you, right? And of course, I'm not going to sell you anything that I haven't been trying myself. So what I'm talking about specifically is a software called Super Creator, right? And you might have seen it before, but I really fucking doubt you have, because I barely noticed it. However, as I looked more into it and actually spoke with the team personally, I realized this is the software that's gonna put fucking Inflow out of business, create a hero, all that shit. They're fucking dog shit compared to this, right? And I'm telling you, this is the next fucking move. Okay, so if you want to up your sales game but don't know how to, this is simply what you need to do. Okay, so I'm gonna go through all the features, all the benefits, any flaws that I found, and simply just how to set this up. Okay, and as always, I'm always just going to drop a link to it directly. You can always just use my specific link just to get more free credits and so on. But anyways, let's just get straight to it. It's called Super Creator. Okay, boys, so just to run through exactly what Super Creator is, right? So I've been testing this with a couple of my models so far, just to pretty much doing it step by step from the smallest ones all the way to the big ones. And it's quite interesting what I found, right? So I'm just going to go through the setup. Now, the main feature of this is called Izzy, and Izzy is an AI chatbot that is pretty much just going to be there, and she's going to do all the chatting for you, but you need to set her up correctly. Now, if you don't set her up correctly, you are simply going to make a shitty chatter, right? So I'm going to show you exactly the best way to kind of deal with this, right? The Super Creator in general just has pretty much different features and tools that we can go over at a different time. Just like creator analytics, just give you right statistics, manage the team, chat monitoring so you can actually see what Izzy is doing and what your chatters are doing. Automations here are pretty much just like different ones like message flows and so on, right? But the main one that we want to do is the whole the setup, right? So if I walk you through on this specifically, right, and there's a different one here called Discover Viral Videos. We use this for like the marketing. Pretty much we'll just show you what's trending on TikTok Reels, and you can send these links over to the models in order for them to recreate it. Okay, so now setting up Izzy. What you want to click is the setup, right? And this is gonna take a little bit of time, so it might just take maybe about up to an hour, 30 minutes to an hour to set up. But once you got it, it's fucking done and it's perfect, right? So it's gonna have you fill in pretty much like the personal info, the names, and so on. Now, all I'm gonna say is pretty much Izzy likes to collect data. Okay, so the more data you have, pretty much the better she's gonna be. Okay, so all you need to do is constantly put as much information in as possible, right? So all this other stuff, education, background, blah, blah, blah. But describe your live donor. How should she sound to fans, right? So here's an example that you guys can copy, like sarcastic, doesn't use emojis much. Trust me, the AI knows everything. Just write as much as you can about how the perfect model should sound to your fans, okay? And then your information, pretty much just add in anything else, like, you know, if someone upsets her, she's like this, blah, 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 blah. And make sure you save all the changes, okay? Now, the next start is the whole chatting. So how do you want to chat? Do you want to chat like the popular girl, the girl next door, and so on, right? And there's different ways for like the chatting strategies. So if you don't click aggressive, otherwise it's constantly going to be speaking to fans and trying to sell them PPPs immediately. Conservative for those of you that actually want to take their time and building relationships. But if you want the best of both worlds, use normal because it's the best one that I recommend after trying normal, right? Here's a different feature as well called the multilingual mode, and it pretty much will give you two options. So the first one is you want Izzy to just reply just in English, right? But she can read when other people, message in different languages. Or you can have her as Izzy will reply in the fan's native language. So if someone's talking to you in French, she'll reply in French. Someone's talking in Spanish, she'll reply in Spanish. Obviously, be prepared because how they're going to ask, oh, do you know Spanish, blah, blah, and so on, right? So that's pretty good if you have models outside of the English-speaking countries. Now, writing levels is like you could click relax, mixed, and proper. So it's just like the grammar and so on. Explicitness level, keep all these three in the middle. Capitalization, I recommend lowercase. Now, for all of these stuff, I'd add in as much of a slang because this is what will actually differentiate her from sounding like AI to sounding like a real girl. Okay, so if you set this up properly, add in all the things a normal chick would say, and it will pretty much just not sound like a bot. Pretty much. And again, all this stuff, add as much information as possible. Like, how do you want your fans to feel when chatting with you, and so on. Just write as much information as possible, right? And over here as well, like example responses, if the fan suspects he's not talking to the creator, you can pretty much just write whatever you want, click comment, and go to the next side, and make sure to save those changes. Okay. Now let's go to the most important parts, which is going to be training Izzy. I'll go through these as well. There's also obviously this section with like lifestyle. Again, add as much information as possible because all that's going to happen is as soon as fans start talking about any of these parts, it will pretty much just have the right answers. Okay, so this is how you make it sound like a real girl, adding all this information. Okay. Now, all the stuff is like if you go to physique, it's just about her height, weight, blah blah blah. She looks like this one for content. So I'd click the ones that the service she obviously offers. But if there's like custom items, obviously do that. Never click this one, which is like sexting for tips, simply because as soon as it gets sexual, I'm pretty sure Izzy will just try to make them pay. In terms of like sexting. So I just click the custom ones if you do customs and VIP and all that other shit, right? Now, the ones that you should click for this one, the AI pricing strategy, is I'll definitely just go for the default AI markup simply because as I've been testing, it's been really, really, really doing well. So just use that. Whereas if you want to go more conservatives, there you go, small markup. If you don't want to change your prices that you bought, do that as well. But I recommend that. Now into details, it's basically just talking about like what she's into and so on. Socials, I'm not going to click this one, but simply what it is it can track the model's socials. So if you put exactly like if a fan ever asks, oh, can I have Instagram, blah, 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 it will just give it to them. So you can pretty much just add all that information there. Okay. But the most important part is training Izzy. All right. Now, training Izzy, if you look here, right, this is how you fine tune her. Okay. Now, there's report building, sexting, and selling. Now, if we go through the report building, it's going to give you scenarios. For example, like day off, right? I recommend you have to finish all of these questions. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get her to go live, right? So it'll give you an example conversation like, I miss you, how are you? And then the fan says like, I'm good, finally have a day off. Now it's going to ask you, what would you have replied instead? Okay. So what would you reply to this basically, right? So if you want to edit the response, you could I just put it as, oh, does that mean you're going to spend all day with me? So on, right? And you do this with every single one, and you do this with exactly how you want the model to sound. Okay. So it's going to say stuff like this, and it's going to be learning the more information you're adding on, right? If you want it to do sexting in a certain type of way, you can do it this way. Okay. If you want it to do the selling in a different type of way, it's going to do all this for you, right? If guys don't have the money and you want it to guilt trip, boom, 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 it's all there. Okay, so that's pretty much how you're training Izzy. Okay, now once you save all of these changes, right, you are still not going to be able to make Izzy go live unless you put the products up. Now, I'd love to click this button. However, I can't because it's explicit and it's YouTube. But pretty much what you can do is as soon as you click that button, you can import all of your top selling PPVs and so on. And I'll make another video, 100% setting it up from scratch, just so that it's all clean for YouTube and so on, with a brand new model that we haven't set up yet. So I'll do all that. But the one you want to do, right, is bump messages. Now, bump messages is basically like smart messages, right? And what you want to do is turn it off on the inflow and turn it on here. And you can just import Super Creators templates because it's all going to be there and it's just going to bump the fans when they're coming online like, hey, you online, blah, blah. Pick the ones that sound exactly like models. I'll write them out specifically. Okay. Now, what I like about Super Creator is that it's fucking cheap. It's like $200, but it's well worth the money. I'm going to make a more in-depth setup video next, but if you go down into the fucking description, I have a specific link. You can download it there to get the latest version and also get yourself some free AI credits because it's fucking cheap as fuck. Like you guys. Okay, guys, so what do you think? Be honest. It's fucking amazing, isn't it? And I say that fucking very lightheartedly. It is one of the best tools I've ever seen in my life, especially in the OF space. And opportunities like this, they do not come across often. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to take advantage of this as soon as possible, right? The one disadvantage I said obviously is that if you set this up wrong, you are essentially training a shit chatter, right? Even though it's got great foundations, it can be absolutely the best fucking nuclear weapon that you could ever build, right? So what I've done is I'm going to give you guys my specific template. It's going to be available on my own free Telegram channel. Just drop me a message and I will simply give it to you. And it will pretty much allow you to actually set it up exactly like how my team and myself set it up, right? Just to be the best fucking chatter. Now, what are you waiting for? I'm dead serious. What are you waiting for? This is your fucking key in order to make the extra money, get your fucking life that you actually wanted to, and actually beat every other agency out there, because not many guys know about this. So, like I said, I always talk about chatting and so on, but things are going to change. Should you fire your chatters? No, not yet. I pretty much have them running with Super Creator right now. But in the future, as I'm seeing how they're actually building their systems, you could pretty much run about 5 models with just one chatter who's overseeing exactly what the AI is doing, but it's pretty much fucking flawless. And it's constantly improving as I've met the team personally, right? And they're fucking amazing. Any changes, boom, you just let them know and they'll fucking implement it compared to all the other CRM tools and so on. So, use the code below, get yourself fucking Super Creator and get yourself fucking making money. See you next vid.